All right, man, we're about to get this started. Got my podcast about to queue up on Spotify. And so welcome YouTube. Welcome to my daily podcast. And it's my top 25 mistakes podcast where I give you guys my full transparency on the mistakes that I've been making in my life, guys. And I'm giving you some real-time mistakes as well as the mistakes that I've been made in the past that have shaped and molded my life, right? And so a lot of these mistakes that I talk about from the past, man, set me back years, man, 10 years, 20 years. And I think that I can help people to have a better life if they begin to understand some of the situations that I found myself in and some of the poor decisions that I've made and a lot of the mistakes that I've made in my life. Now, I was fortunate enough that in my process of making a lot of these mistakes, I had mentors and coaches and people who helped me and pulled me out of the path that I was going to. And I had enough respect for them to listen, which then shaped and molded my life. Now, granted, a lot of the crowds that I was hanging with, the circle of influences that I was around at the time, they didn't have those same mentors. And the path that they ended up taking, some of them had tragic lives. Some of them had tragic endings to their lives. And some of them, man, they're still on that path to the bad life, trying to get back a lot of the things that they lost in their life. So in my daily podcast, I'm going to be giving it to you guys straight. And I'm coming at you today with my podcast. So, hey, let's get it started. All right. What's up, gang? I am Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life. Coming at you today with my daily podcast. That's right, guys. My daily podcast on Spotify as well as on YouTube. Welcome YouTube to the party. And what I like to talk about, guys, is my mistakes and mistakes that I've made, and just being fully transparent to help you guys to understand that people make these mistakes and they end up having a bad life, and you need to avoid them. Now, I know that in my book I talk about some of the most popular 25 mistakes that people make, but there are tons of mistakes that I've made. I've made thousands of mistakes and seen thousands more, guys. So that's why I decided I need to do a daily podcast to get these mistakes out there to as many people as possible, And I know that it is so sad that if you want to keep a secret from somebody, you put it in a book, or if you want to enlighten somebody, you also put it in a book. So a lot of times, if somebody's going to avoid some of these mistakes, they have to be seeking answers. And when you begin to seek answers, they come to you, guys. It's surprising, right? I have spent many years of my life not looking for answers, but just doing things randomly, trying to figure out life and hoping that things worked out in my favor. But when I began to seek answers, whether it was in a book, whether it was in a coach, whether it was in a course, okay, no matter what the process I did, when I began seeking answers, they were provided for me. Answers came my way, and I began to grow and learn and become more than what I currently was. So in saying that, guys, I want to talk about today's topic on the podcast. Today's topic is something that a quote that I heard, and I got it later on. I'm going to give credit to it maybe in the credits. I'll give credit to this statement. But it says the greatest value in life is not what you get, but what you become in the process. Right? And I think that may have been Jim Rohn, right? Jim Rohn may have said that. And I think that is very, very important and key, because a lot of times you see people, and I know that most of us see a lot of people on social media, right? We probably see more people on social media than we see in our regular interactions in life, and we think that we know them, right? And just because we see them each and every day. And I've had that illusion happened in my life as well, right? Where you thought you knew somebody because you saw them so much on social media when they don't know you from anybody, right? They don't know you from Adam and Eve, as we used to say back in the day. But it is that you see that you start to think that the more you collect things, right? The more you get, the more you have, the more you can show, you become more. And that is not what life is about, guys. That is not, life is not about collecting things, man. If you guys don't believe me, look at the tombs of at the ancient Egyptians, right? Many years they spent accumulating gold and things and everything else, and they died and they buried it all with them. And what happened? Somebody went in there, they took it all while they were dead. They raided the tombs, guys. Listen, I don't care who you are, you cannot take it with you. You cannot take it with you. So give it all out. Give it away, man. And in your situation, I'm not talking about gold, right? I am talking about the knowledge that you have gained. Give it away in value, right? The more value you give away, the better your life will become for you, man. So understand that fact, man. Don't try to take it with you. So my question for today's podcast, after that quote, that life-changing quote, right? That revelation is, if that is true, right? If the greatest value in life is not what you get, but what you become, and if that is true, how can you become more than who you currently are? And that was a driving question for me, right? How can I become more than who I currently am? And the reason why it was a driving question is because there were different stages in my life, and there will be different stages in your life, right? Where you will have a glass ceiling on the type of goals that you believe you can achieve, right? And so you'll be working toward achieving those goals and trying to have a better life for yourself until you reach that level. And when you get there, you will realize that it was your lack of belief that stopped you from going beyond that glass ceiling that you thought you had in your life. And so there you go. Now you're recalibrating, you're relearning, trying to figure out some new skills, because you now realize that the sky's the limit, right? But here's the deal. That sky that you think is the limit is not the end of your ability. You can do more and you can achieve more. And a lot of us, because of our belief, we don't reach hard enough. We don't go hard enough to become more. We just don't do it. We don't stay consistent, right? And we lack belief, guys. We lack belief. And I think that is one of the things that you need if you want to become more instead of getting more, right? Because anybody can get things, right? Anybody can get things. Any lucky person can hit the lottery, right? But it takes someone to become a millionaire in order to keep $1 million. So understand that as you guys go about collecting things in your life, start trying to become the person and attract those things as opposed to trying to collect them from somebody else, right? And just becoming a consumer. So here you go, guys. In my quest to achieve a better life, I knew that the person I currently was did not earn the right to have the life that I desired. So I desired a certain type of lifestyle for me, right? And eventually for my children and my wife and my family. I desired a certain type of lifestyle, to live a certain way, to go on certain types of vacations, give abundantly, right? To dine at the finest restaurant and to treat my family first class, right? Now my behavior may have treated them first class with my love and caring, but I wanted to do more and give more, And so in doing so, I knew that the person I currently was not the person that can do that, right? The person that I currently was just struggling just to pay the bills and feed my wife and children. That's what my current state was. So I was totally honest with myself, and that's where I was at, guys. But I knew that I could achieve more, but I had to build that up, right? It just didn't come overnight, guys. So now it wasn't because I didn't have a list of goals, right? I had a list of goals written out. I remember if a couple of podcasts back, I told you guys that one of the guys told me to list 1,000 goals, right? 5 year, 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year goals and 20-year goals, right? I had all of those goals listed out. I had a nice little scroll. I got to find it one day and show it to you guys. So I had a scroll of goals that I had listed out. So it wasn't that I didn't have goals written down on paper. I had that, right? It wasn't because I didn't read tons of books. I read tons of books, man. At the time, I probably had about 50, 60 books that I was reading a year, right? So I was reading books, and I knew all the quotes, and I knew all the things that the sum of your 5 closest friends, and all the other things that they throw out there. I knew all of that stuff from all of the books. I read them, right? So I read tons of books, man. I even took courses, right, to work on my skills. So that's me. List of goals, right? Read tons of books. Took courses to work on my skills. But what was missing, guys? What was missing in my life that I did not have the life that I desired? My problem was all of that theory, right? It was all theory to me. And it was all in my mind. So what happens is when you have a bunch of things in your mind, tons of concepts, tons of information, tons of things, you are reading books and everything else from all these different opinions and everything, what usually happens is overwhelm, right? And that is what happened to me, guys. I had so much information that I was taking in that I wasn't doing one of the most important things. Two of the most important things that I like to talk to you guys about, right? All of that theory in my mind was not backed by, number one, a truly committed decision, right? Now, I can tell you that I've made plenty of decisions, right? Plenty of decisions into a lot of things. But when it comes to a direction that you are planning on going in your life, you have to have a truly committed decision, right? And it is a power that is available to everyone, right? Everyone can make a decision, right? And they could do that at any time in their lives. No matter what your circumstances is, you can say, today I'm making a truly committed decision, and turn your entire life around that day. You can do it. That is the first step of turning it around. That is the first step of becoming more. That is the first step from changing your desire to something tangible, right? So the first thing I did was I made a truly committed decision, and I decided that nothing was going to stop me from doing that decision, right? The second most important thing that I needed in order to change all of that theory and stop the overwhelm was a daily action habit, right? So now what a daily action habit is it is you making your decision and then planning to do something every single day toward that decision. Whatever it is, you cannot take a day off. That is the rules, guys. That is the rules when it says daily action habit. That means every day. That doesn't mean take off Sunday. That doesn't mean hang back on the weekend. That means everybody in your circle of influence, your family, children, and everybody around you know that every single day you have that one daily action that you have to do to move you closer to your goal, and nothing can get in the way of that, right? You don't take a day off from daily actions. Hence the point of daily actions, guys. You have to do it every single day. So you're not taking a day off from that. So that's the two things that got me moving and got all of that theory out of my head and got me to start implementing changes in my life, right? So as I began to work in my daily actions, I had a truly committed decision that I am going to achieve blank, right? It doesn't matter whatever you're trying to achieve. Reason why I didn't tell you what I was trying to achieve is because I don't want to cloud your decision on what you want, right? I could be telling you a financial number, and I don't want you to think that that's what's important. I could be telling you a family issue that I want to achieve. I don't want that to guide you. I could be telling you about a relationship, or even health. You choose what you want to be your truly committed decision, right? And then you take a daily action habit to achieve that every day. Now, in order to take that daily action habit, you may have to do some studying and some skills, right? But I tell people to do this, right? Read what the next step is. Don't read everything into it and a bunch of stuff that you got to do. Forget the bunch of stuff. What is the step you have to do today? Read it, learn about it, and then act on it. Act on it that day. And the next day, you do the same thing. What is the step I have to do that day? And if you want, at the earliest, the night before, write down the step that you have to do the next day so that you wake up jumping out of bed knowing that if you had tons of other things to do with your family and tons of other obligations, you know that the first most important thing you're doing is your daily action habit. That thing you have to do every day that moves you forward. Okay, so understand that, guys. That is how you begin to shift yourself from a person who has not earned what you want to a person who is working toward what you desire. Okay, and that is how I began to do it. And that was how I began to go from this level to the next level to the next level of my life, of the things that I wanted. I did not take a day off. And the reason why I say this, you don't have to overwhelm yourself with your daily action. It doesn't have to be 8 hours of studying, 20 hours of reading, whatever it is. It can be 15 minutes, 30 minutes. For me, it's an hour a day out of 24 hours. And I'm telling you guys that if you can't put an hour a day toward what you truly desire in life, then you don't want it. And you haven't committed to it. You haven't truly committed to a decision to have what you want or to become who you need to be, which hence the question that we talk about in the beginning of this podcast. Who you need to be is what you need to be committed to, guys. So understand that moving forward, right? Now, I want to explain to you guys, right, that you may not believe, and I've explained this over and over and over to many, many people who I've coached, who I've taught, people who I've put through the academy. I've explained this to so many people that I was surprised that not a lot of people understand this, right? And this is about yourself, by the way. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it was at times that I didn't believe it about myself. So that is why I want to tell you guys, right? Now, we all know in life, right? In life, you are going to be faced with challenges. That is what life is about. As sure as the day is long, you will be faced with a challenge or some obstacle that you have come up against, okay, to stop your momentum, to stop you from moving forward, to try to keep you standing still. And we all know that if you are standing still, you're moving backwards, okay? There's no such thing as standing still in an earth that is spinning at an unlimited amount of revolutions per minute. We're on a spinning top right now, guys. And it's spinning so fast that we're all glued to it with gravity, right? So if you are not moving forward, you're literally moving backwards, okay? And that goes for anything that you are doing in life. If you are not forward thinking, you're thinking in the past, okay? If you are not committed to daily habits to achieve your goals, you're committed to going backwards, okay? That is what it is, guys. And so in knowing that, I want you guys to know this. Hear me out, right? The human spirit is unconquerable. Unconquerable. There's nothing on this planet that can stop the human spirit. And if you don't believe me, look around you, guys. Look around you. We went from caves to the moon. We went from the caves to the moon to leisure trips to outer space. Leisure trips to outer space. In and out of our own atmosphere in a matter of years. So understand that. The human spirit is unconquerable, right? If, that is if, you decide to take control, decide exactly what you want, and believe unequivocally, guys, that no challenge, no problem, and no obstacle can keep you from what you want. So understand that, guys. An unconquerable spirit is what you need in order to move forward in life. An unconquerable spirit. And an unconquerable spirit answers that question, guys, right? You no longer worry about getting things. You worry about becoming someone who attracts what they want. So stop being a chaser, guys. Stop being a consumer and start working on yourself to become more, guys. And then you will understand, right, that it is not about what you get in life, but about what you give to people. It is about the value of you making people's lives better. And it is an extremely incredible power, guys, an extremely incredible power to be the person who lifts people's lives to another plane, to another level, right? Anybody can go out there and forge the way and make their selfish lives better, right? Okay, you can go out there and get a nice job, and if you make over $67,000 a year, right, you can have a pretty good life, right? If you make double that, you can have the same life. It doesn't get any better because you made 120 instead of 60,000. Trust me, right? Been there, done that, right? But what does make your life better is when you bring other people along for the ride of making themselves better, right? Helping people to achieve more in life, helping people to become more in life, and helping people to understand that together, giving each other value is what makes life worth living on this planet, right? And as we begin to help one another, and you help someone and you teach them the concept of how important giving value is, you have now contributed, okay, to humanity, to life, to people, because it's about contribution, guys. And as soon as you grasp that concept, you will then truly elevate to the person who attracts whatever you want out of life. Whatever you want out of life. Somebody told me something a long time ago, right? And they were talking about making millionaires, right? They said, if you want to become a millionaire, help 100 other people. He said 10. He said, help 10 other people become millionaires if you want to become a millionaire. Now, in saying that, it's the same concept, guys. Whatever you want out of life, help 10 other people achieve that. Right? So that means that you have to skill up, you have to learn up, you have to do more and become more. You have to be truly committed, and you have to have a daily action habit working toward that, right? Giving value. So that's it for today, guys. Make sure you hop on over to lieutenantsoundblue.com and purchase my book, Top 25 Mistakes. And I say purchase because I'm actually giving it away free, $9.95. I'm asking you guys to pay the shipping, right? It's $9.95. That's what it cost me for the postman to deliver it to you and for me to package it and so on and so forth, guys. So hop on over to Lieutenant Sal Blue so I can give you an autographed copy of my book, Top 25 Mistakes en Route to the Good Life. You see tons of other things over there on my website, and I have an audiobook over there from the Top 25 Mistakes, which is fantastic. I read it myself. Took a week and a half to do that. I also have a course, Top 25 Mistakes. I got some modules going on in there, and I'm continue to be working on that course. You can get that course as well. And also, guys, I have one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching to teach you the concepts that I've learned to help me to have an extraordinary life. And I want that for you too, guys. So make sure you go on over to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, and the Top 25 Mistakes group. And I will check you guys out tomorrow. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue signing off. You guys have a fantastic Thursday night. Episode 127, I believe this is, right? The greatest value in life is not what you get, but what you become. All right, I'll talk to you later. Deuces.